There's no excuse why we should be sitting here at 2023 without those laws implemented, because now we're coming back and with little result, nothing's changed. We still have kids not getting placed.
Texas Senator Charles Perry expressing frustration over changes to the foster care system that still have not been made, calling it a long and frustrating process. Now, a federal judge is threatening to charge top Texas officials with contempt of court over their handling of the state's foster care system. Investigator Avery Travis sat in on an all-day hearing and joins us now in studio. Avery, what was the judge's message during that hearing?
Yeah, the judge spent a lot of time talking through specific cases of foster children who died or were abused. Heartbreaking stories, of course, but some similar issues we've been hearing about for more than a decade since the state was first sued over the treatment of foster children. Monday, the judge walked people through a 200-page report which details the progress and the shortcomings over the last few years. Judge Janice Jack zeroed in on how each of her court orders has been implemented so far, but threatened to fine the Department of Family and Protective Services over things like foster facilities not having enough supervisors awake at night to monitor children, and the state placing children in potentially unsafe homes. A CPS policy expert we spoke with says the hearing shows how hard it is to get this right, but why it's important to focus on the details, rules, and even regulation so that nothing falls through the cracks, especially when it comes to safety.
It is just heart-wrenching and really painful to continue to see kids die or experience ongoing abuse, whether that's physical or sexual, because of these kinds of mistakes that were highlighted.
The commissioner of DFPS told the judge it was doing its best to meet all of the court orders and that sometimes children's placements were up to local courts and judges instead. Judge Jack says there will not be another federal hearing on the matter until December, but a panel of experts who was convened to come up with some solutions released their recommendations earlier this year. They could be checking in with these agencies as soon as mid-June.
Avery, speaking of that 200-page report, tell us a little bit more about what was found within it.
Yeah, Josh, the report highlighted the progress that has been made in Texas over the last few years, particularly when it comes to training caseworkers on how to spot, track, and document incidents of sexual abuse. The goal, of course, is to prevent that from happening in the first place, but a staggering statistic out of that report, the monitors found more than 400 children who were victims. Out of those, 25% had either experienced abuse for the first time in the foster care system or were re-victimized after entering the system. Almost half of those incidents reportedly happened while the child was on runaway status, away from their foster home or treatment facility. The report notes that is a slight increase from the monitor's second report, which was filed last May.
Avery, thank you very much. New information now on the Refuge, the shelter that specializes as a safe place for victims of domestic minor sex trafficking, is now laying off most of its workforce. The Refuge CEO made the announcement in a letter sent to supporters. Brooke Crowder, founder and CEO of the shelter, said 75% were let go. In her letter, Crowder noted that the shelter has been in the public eye after allegations a worker gave drugs to two teenagers in exchange for nude photos. Since then, the state removed girls from the shelter. Thank you again for joining us for State of Texas. I'm Josh Hinkle, and we'll be back next week to bring you an in-depth look at Texas politics.